Hey everyone, I'm Airier, and this is actually just a question that's been floating around for a while. There's a lot of speculation out about Destiny 2, especially since there have been a few articles published saying how there might be forced new characters in Destiny 2. You can't carry over your character to Destiny 2. It hasn't been confirmed, and I'm personally in the camp where I don't want to believe it until I see it. But it's been floating around long enough that we need to take it seriously because Destiny, Bungie specifically, haven't come out and said anything either way. Which either means that it's not true and they don't want to confirm it because they just are being trolls, which is completely possible, or it is true and they don't want to deal with the backlash just yet because they just don't want to deal with the backlash, which is perfectly logical. Here's the thing though, there's two different sides to this. The pros and cons, and I'm going to try and break them down in as logical a fashion. Spoiler though, I'm actually quite biased on this. I would prefer to keep my character. That said, I'm going to try and ignore the fact that I have a definite opinion. I'm going to fail, but it's the effort. Just putting the effort into it. Now, let's start off with the easy one. The reasons to keep the character. Well, for one, I've had this thing for literally going on 3 years now. First 2 years are already covered. This is the third year starting up. And I've worked on this guy for literally years. I have played through all the raids, and there's a sense of continuity that I don't want to lose. I know a lot of people from beta and even earlier and later, and me included, remember Bungie saying that, hey, you're going to keep your character for the 10-year plan. And it's like, hey, I don't want that not to be true. I mean, yeah, sure, they've scrapped the 10-year plan and almost everything else to do with it, but we wanted to hold on to that fact that we could keep our character because it makes Destiny different than everything else around. It's an MMO element taken to a game that's different than MMOs. It's, I guess, what do they call it now? A massive shooter? No, I don't know. There's a term for it. I heard it. I forgot it already. The other good point is that because we've invested so much time into these characters, we do obsess about the little things. We've put money into it if you are into buying the silver. We pay money to level up. We pay money to keep up. We are obsessive about finding little details of appearance and armor and items. And just to lose everything would be not just disheartening, but anyone who paid money, it's now literally saying, you don't have any of that anymore. And it's just, from a sheer emotional standpoint, it is a giant dick punch. Ovary punch if you're a female. I've been told by my girlfriend it hurts just as much. I don't know, because she's never been punched in the dick and I've never been punched in the ovaries. So it's really hard to compare. Hey, we got a squad. Ooh. You sure have a nice sword. No, don't get distracted, Airier. Just, it's one of those things where, how do I put it? It's sheerly an emotional standpoint, and we put so much time and effort into it, which is really what it comes down to. We don't want to lose that, because the sense of loss outweighs quite a bit of the advantages. And now, to be fair, I gotta talk about the advantages. And again, like I said, I actually prefer to keep my character because of all of those emotional reasons. And since playing a game is an emotional journey, it is meant to feel good. It is meant to make you cry with sad games, laugh at the happy moments. The emotion of a game is what makes it worthwhile. So an emotional connection to the character, you can't deny that. It is of fundamental importance that you have to care about a character. And for Bungie to create characters, even if we're creating themselves and they have shit dialogue and shit story, we have that connection by this point. And stopping that is, it's going to be jarring. Now let's move on to the more pros to losing our characters forever base. This might be a little painful for me, actually, not for you. This will probably be easy for you, but for me, it's actually going to be painful. If I just choke up a bit, like actually start to gag, you'll see a sudden cut, and just assume I threw up in the bathroom. But just the thought of it, I really hope that's a joke. I really do. Also, hey, there's a dog. Yeah, I know it's a wolf. I'm just going to call it a dog. Doggo. See, I'm already distracting myself. Fun. Okay, for the first and most important one, and it is worth bearing in mind, Destiny hasn't kept the 10-year plan. They've changed so much about this game that holding them to the one promise they haven't decided to scrap yet, it's unrealistic, because nothing else from Destiny 1, the original vanilla Destiny, was what they saw in the beta. The story was scrapped, a lot of the missions. The Dreadnought was actually designed for part of Year 1. I know. It was designed to be a part of the story. It was pushed back into its own expansion. There's so much that has changed. It's not realistic to believe that they're going to hold to something when literally everything else has been thrown by the wayside because they changed. And to be fair, what we love about the game itself is the gameplay, because when it came to story, if you were a Year 1 player, yeah, you're not playing Year 1 for story. They had a good story, but it wasn't in-game. The Grimoire actually has an amazing part. Look up the Thorn, look up the Last Word. That stuff is freaking amazing. I cannot play it up enough. In fact, you can. It literally is always downplaying it, because the reality is just that good. Solid writing and solid storytelling. But Destiny has never been a character-based game. They started to change that with Cayde back in Taken King, and they kind of touched on it with Saladin. To be fair, I know I say that term a lot. He has a character. It was too rushed, honestly, for Rise of Iron, but it was there, and they had the subtle moments that were actually quite brilliant. It was too fast, and the pacing was off because of that. But I think that's mostly because the live team did Rise of Iron while everyone else was working on Destiny 2. Which is actually a point in Destiny 2's favor, but we love these characters because they enable us to play the game. That's really all it comes down to. There's nothing about it. It's a generic, no-story character. We don't even hear their voice since Vanilla Destiny. And even that wasn't exactly inspired lines. The Ghost has more character, and to be fair, Nolan North has done an amazing job. I actually didn't mind Dinklebot myself. I thought he was funny, but I like that kind of humor, so I was biased. The characters themselves, though, they've stopped talking, and even when they did, it was generic and bland. What we have now are just gun holders, armor holders. The character itself, well, look at it this way. I've left my mask on so long, I don't think anyone on stream has seen its face. So I'm going to do this right now. Hey, technically it's a face reveal now video. Ha! I wonder if I could use that to get likes. No. Just no. I'm going to quickly take this off. Yeah. And, there we go. Yeah, this is what my character looked like. Also, there's a standing animation. Most people don't see that. You notice anything really odd about him? Here, I'll get a little closer so you can see a better view. Like, anything a little odd about how the character looks? Like, look at the hair. Notice how it's really, really one-dimensional, flat. It's hard to do that because there's not enough light. Let's try going over here. We can get a better view. Let's try it over here. Okay. Huh. Let's try this again. Okay, it doesn't really zoom in well. That's good enough. You notice how it doesn't look bad in character design, but it's remarkably shiny. Now I'll go for a little closer comparison. Let's go look at Saladin. His face was only created for Rise of Iron. Let's see how he looks. Okay, we can barely see him. How do you get a little closer? Let's just stand side by side. Just look at the hair detail for one. You can tell he has hair where I have a helmet that kind of shines with lines in it. Most of the hair kind of have that effect. In sheer reflection, you can see he has wrinkles and creases and he has laugh lines where I have... There's a little divot here. But overall, it's a very shiny, almost... You can tell there's a quality difference. That they have upped their game. In cinematics, it's even more blatant. Or when the light isn't right behind me. Literally, that makes it so much... The eyes are glowing. Oh, well, that's freaky as hell. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just apparently my eyes glow now. That's a thing. And Saladins are black pits. That also is a... Okay, I'm just going to stop focusing on the glitching in the game. That's freaky, though. Okay, yeah, it's actually very distracting. I can't stand there. Oh, wow. Yeah, that was actually freaky. Getting back to what I meant, though. The character design has upgraded since Rise of Iron came out. Characters look better. They look less flat. They look less plastic. And you gotta admit, every character looks plastic because there has literally been years of improvement on what the game looks like. Because, especially with Rise of Iron, they're not being constrained to the limits of the console platforms for PS3 or Xbox 360. They have upped the game significantly. And it's only going to improve now that they're going to Destiny 2. And they've already mentioned they might scrap parts of the world, so they could do even more. The game might seriously look dynamic after this, because they don't have to make sure different levels of technology can play it. The one thing we need to remember, though, is that that's only a minor thing. These are just gun holders. You don't see the face. It's not the character we're attached to. It's the weapons. It's the armors. It's the shaders. It's the emblems. And if Bungie wants to make a new character, a forced new character worthwhile, the easiest way they can do it is just have a way to reclaim our items. Yeah, that would be all it takes. Have a new character, do a simple intro mission where you reclaim the items of a fallen guardian. Have that be the intro mission, and we're set. And if we don't reclaim it, chances are it's going to be the exact same thing as year 2, where every gun we're about to get is going to blow everything we have in our inventory out of the water. And for inventory space, we're going to get rid of all the old ones. It might be stupid for PvP, but in PvE, in the raid, it'll be necessary. And we're going to do it because the new stuff just has better stats. They've already done that once, and we'll probably see it again. I personally know I'll be upset to lose Call Event. No, I'm talking about the upsides now, not the annoying part of losing the gun. But, yeah. It also does enable Bungie to give us more choices in characters. We might actually have characters with story now. We might have characters that are more than just human, Exo, or, well, whatever the blue guys are. I forgot the name. Shit. Wow. I am having a massive brain fart. Awoken. Yeah. Wow, that's embarrassing. I mean, okay, it's one of many embarrassing things I've done, so it's probably not even in the top 10. 100. But still. The best way to put it is that the characters already don't matter. So you've upgraded them all the way. Everyone's upgraded character looks the same stat-wise. They all have 40 level, anywhere from beginner light level all the way up to 400 at this point. But really, when you're in PvP, that doesn't matter. It's just how good a character you are. As long as you have the perks you want in, it doesn't really matter. They all kind of look the same. It's your choice of what you've chosen, not so much what you've built up to. It doesn't change. The characters are very much cookie cutters, even at the end. Now, the guns you earn make them different, but that's not the character. That's the guns and the weaponry still. Like I said, these are just placeholders that we put things on. They're mannequins. There's no personality. There's no reality to them. They're very much an empty blow-up doll. In my case, it's a blow-up Ken. I guess some people do blow-up Barbies. This just became a very disturbing comparison, so I'm going to stop it there before it goes too far. Yeah, hey, I stopped on time for once. Who'd have thought? But the best way Destiny 2 could remedy this, I already mentioned that there would be a mission where we reclaim the items, because that would take care of the biggest issue. Because if you paid money for certain items, it would be bad to lose. More importantly, though, giving the characters a send-off. Just tack on a mission right at the end of Rise of Iron, before Destiny 2 comes out, where the character is facing insurmountable odds and they die. Yeah. But they have to do it within like the week before Destiny 2 comes out. And they have to make sure people know this is the last mission. Give them a send-off. Because even though these are not exactly... Okay, see the dead eyes? It's freaking me out. They don't... Yeah, that's freaking me out. Even though the characters are just gun holders, we have that connection. If they want to really move forward, give us something to hang our hat on, saying, this is how the story for this character ended. And now we have a new one in the world of Destiny. And hey, we got our items back, so it's still good. That said, if it turns out that we aren't losing the characters, hey, I'm okay with that, sure. Yeah. I wouldn't mind if there was a facial reconstruction thing, but at that point, it would literally be the same as getting new characters anyways. Because there's really nothing to them. It's all things we've done in story as opposed to backstory or character. There's good and bad points to both sides. Emotion is definitely the biggest one to keep the character, but from sheer practicality, getting new ones might just be easier for the game. I'm not sure which side Bungie's going to come down on, because they could take it either way. And as a die-hard fan, I'll probably still play it regardless of what they choose. I guess the difference is, one way I will be making a new character creation video. That's really the only difference. I'll still play, I'll still level up, I'll still enjoy the hell out of it. I'll probably just take a little longer to get to a point where my videos won't be as embarrassing. Yeah, I see that. That was funny, because they're always embarrassing. All the same, those are my thoughts. Again, I'm really hoping this is one of those rumors that is completely shot down, but Bungie haven't said anything yet, and usually whenever you say something like that, sometimes they do make a point to say, no, we're not doing that. Like the last Exit where people got really into it. It's like, no, it's an Easter egg. Yeah. All the same, tell me your thoughts. What do you think about this? I actually am curious, so yeah, write down below, say what you think. Oh, and yeah, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And if you like this video, share it. I want to see as many people talking about this as possible, because that's fascinating. Share button's right down there. Hit it up. Share it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah, you can share it on YouTube. I don't know why you would share it on YouTube, but apparently it's enabled. Hit me up. And seriously, if you have any questions, ask. This is something I want to start a discussion about. And for everyone watching live, well, if you want to leave a comment, you'll have to wait a few seconds for it to actually stop being live. All the same, though, thanks for watching. And again, for everyone who's subscribed, you guys are awesome. And for everyone who hasn't yet, button's right over there. Thanks for pressing it. Yeah, and I know I've already said it, but I kind of do hope they don't scrap the characters. But if they do, it's not a complete loss unless we lose the items, in which case, yes, it is. So, I'm Airier. I approve this message. That wasn't a message, so fuck it. I'm gonna roll with that anyways. Later.